We finally back, Hero Review 12. It only took me 17 years, but we are finally back, and today we are going to be looking at Osmosis Jones from Osmosis freaking Jones. Since everyone seemed to really like my review of Thrax, it only makes sense to take a look at the hero from the film. Is Jones a good hero, or does this Lucio suck? Let's figure it out.
Thank you, Chief. You won't regret this. You're a good man. You're a fine man.
A lot of kids' movies start off with the idea of, oh, what if this was a city? What if animals were a city? What if robots were a city? What if bacteria and all that slimy shit were a city? So what you need to know is that Osmosis Jones is a blue-white blood cell played by a black man who's also a cop. Working as a cop inside of the body of a dude named Frank, Jones spends his time chasing down bacteria and illnesses to stop them before they can make Frank sick. When we first meet him in the beginning of the film, Jones is kind of a mess up, and instead of stopping illnesses, he just gives Frank muscle cramps. Given one last chance to redeem himself, Jones has to team up with CGI character to stop the villain who way too many people thirst over in the comments of his villain review. The origin is kind of like the DNA of Donna's boyfriend because it's Gene Eric. Yeah, I feel like the origin for Jones is the same origin we get for every animated character in the early 2000s. Main character is a loser who nobody respects, but he's gonna prove himself by stopping the bad guy and finally get the respect he deserves. The origin ain't bad, it's just kind of whatever.
Yo, you see this bag? You see this gun? You see this gooey white saccus membrane?
So the whole gimmick of all the main characters being cells and stuff like that, and the bad guy being like, I don't know, diarrhea or something like that, it's kind of interesting, but I don't think it's implemented well. Watching this movie is kind of like if you watched a buddy cop film, but every 30 seconds somebody just hits you across the face with a biology textbook. That being said, Jones isn't as creative of a character as he might seem, and he actually just turns out to be another cop character who just happens to be blue. Osmosis Jones is obviously played by Chris Rock, and the performance is Chris Rock. Okay, so earlier when I said watching the movie is like getting hit by a biology textbook, I forgot to mention Chris Rock is the one who's like actually hitting you with the book. So, yeah. What I'm going to say is that Jones isn't really a bad character at all, and I think Chris Rock actually does bring a certain charisma to him. That being said, he's not really an amazing character either. There's a certain reason that when we think of classic animated characters, we think of Shrek, Mr. Incredible, Poe, Lightning Ka-Chow, and not Osmosis Jones. And that's because the most memorable thing about Jones is that he's played by Chris Rock. Even with a character like Lightning McQueen, who's obviously played by Owen Wilson, when I watch that movie, I see Lightning McQueen, not Owen Wilson as a car. With Osmosis Jones, though, I say, wow, Chris Rock is a white blood cell. So yes, he's just Chris Rock as a white blood cell, but does he at least have some interesting scenes? Sorta. I guess if I were looking at some positive takeaways, I'd have to point out the relationship with Drix. It's generic for sure, but we still see some growth in Jones as a character as the two become friends over the film. As average as the movie might be, they at least get this part right, so good job, I can appreciate that. I know I was also saying that it might not be the best thing that he's voiced by Chris Rock, but it's not a bad thing either. When Chris Rock voices a character, he's going to bring a certain energy to that character. That classic, granted it's the same energy he brings to all of his characters, but that's probably just because it works. Whenever Jones is on screen, I enjoy my time with him, but I'm not going to make a whole video like breaking him down or anything like that. Wait. The scenes kind of all blur together for me, so I'll say that one of his better scenes is when he actually fights Thrax. All throughout the film, Thrax is shown to be this incredibly intimidating villain and this powerful virus person that there is no way in heck Jones could ever take him down. So when he does, he legitimately has to outsmart the villain in a pretty creative way, and it's a cool moment for Jones towards the end of the film.
Bet Johnny Streptococcus in the melanoma family would be very interested to hear about your flu shot.
Osmosis Jones might be one of the most heroic heroes of all time because he stops the grossest person of all time from dying, and that's something he deserves some credit for. Jones might not be the best cop in the body, but if you look through all the bravado, I think he means well, and it's that effort that makes us want to root for him. But then again, if he let Frank die, I'm pretty sure he would die, so maybe saving Frank is actually a selfish motive. Maybe Osmosis Jones is actually the most evil hero of all time, and I should actually make a villain review for him. I'm joking, but I'm also not. Listen to this. Does Jones save Frank because he legit cares? Or is it because he wants to live? The argument we see here is actually very similar to an argument that if you give a homeless person $1 in hopes of getting to heaven, is it in fact an act of kindness, or are you just paying your dues? Personally, I think Osmosis Jones isn't evil, but maybe if we could just take a look at our true intentions the next time we consider doing something good, because maybe doing nothing at all is better than doing something selfishly. It really makes you think about what is human. What is kindness? What is selfishness? But yeah, this is also a kid's movie where Kid Rock is a kidney. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't take it too seriously.
Oh. Who's the Germinator now?
Osmosis Jones is an interesting character. He's the same one half of a buddy cop film we've seen many times, but he's by no means bad. He's Chris Rock in an animated buddy cop movie that happens to be a blood cell. That's about it. There's nothing really past that. He's not a character who I hate, but he's not one that I'll be thinking about after the movie. He's nowhere near as memorable as Thrax, but when you compare him to all the live action stuff in the movie, he might be the best thing ever put to film. I'm gonna give Osmosis Jones a 6.
What you talking about? Hey, I'm in charge of this sore throat, baby.
You're kidding me.
No. Straight up.
Thank you so much for watching. Leave me some suggestions for hero review. Please, man, I don't have really any of them. Thanks again for watching. More hero reviews coming. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.